All right, let's get right to tying. So we're starting off here. This is going to be the CDC Ticket, which is basically a caddis imitation that was originally it's just the ticket, but here I like throwing CDC on anything I can. So that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to start with laying down a thread base here. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is all getting covered up. Come back to the behind the bead where we can tie in our vinyl D-rib. So with this stuff, we just want to make sure that we tie it in with the flat side pointing outward towards us, so that when we wrap it, the ribbed part looks correct. So we're just gonna capture that behind the bead. I like to give it a little stretch as I'm tying it in, just to help minimize the bulk in our body of our fly. All the way back to the front, make sure we get that tied down good. That tag tied in, and now we can tie in our holographic tinsel. Now here you can see I'm going with a purple color. I think we all know purple works great for trout for some reason, even though it's not really a natural color. But for this fly, you really should make sure that you tie it in like a caddis green or a chartreuse. And you can use any color bead that you want. This really is kind of almost a platform fly that really lets you use any color scheme you want and kind of tailor this to what works best in your area. So now we're just going to wrap this holographic tinsel with touching turns. Make sure we get one nice complete turn around at the back there. Touching turns all the way to the bead. One thing I like about this size large holographic tinsel, really does a great job of covering up the hook. And I'll use this large all the way down to a size 18. You could use it on a size 20 as well, but it starts to get a little bit big and hard to wrap at that size. I'm just going to trim out that holographic tinsel. Make sure we got that tag tied down. We need to be careful with our thread wraps because we are using an 8/0 thread here, but we should be fine. Now with this vinyl D-rib, it really does work best to use the rotary function of the vise to make sure that we get these wraps right next to each other. I also like using the rotary function so I don't have to trim this D-rib from its long piece that comes from the packaging, so I don't waste a whole lot. Although like right now you can see it's really wanting to wrap around everything and be a pain. But if you can just hold that there all in one hand, you can get nice touching turns. And you could use different colored D-rib, but I really like using the clear on this pattern because it really lets that holographic tinsel shine through and kind of be the focal point of the body of the fly. See, yeah, it looks about right there. And then you can have tons of different colored tickets with only one ribbing. Just one D-rib's all you need. Then all you're doing is changing out your holographic tinsel. So we're just going to make sure we got that tag tied down good. We don't want that coming apart. There we go. Now we can get ready to tie in our thorax. So the thorax is just going to be some ice dub. So for this pattern, I really like the color scheme. I really like black ice dub up here. The original ticket called for like a caddis green. Okay, we just want to do a little bit right now to give ourselves room for our CDC. So I like to use the split thread technique with this thread splitter. It's going to be in the description. It does work great. Let's try this again here. Same with this material clip. So we get that in there. Get those right on the edge. Carefully give it a clockwise turn and let it spin up. So now that that thread is corded up really nicely, we can go ahead and start to wrap. And I just like to kind of bring those fibers back as I'm wrapping so they can kind of just stay out of the way of each wrap, and then just wrap back on them a little bit so they all are heading backwards. We can worry about their length later. Then we're just going to come in here with another really small amount of black ice dub. Just enough to wrap around. Time, maybe two. Then we're going to hold all those CDC fibers back. That was maybe a little bit more than was needed, but that doesn't look too bad. We can still get a whip finish in here. Do a 3-turn and then maybe throw a 2-turn on it, and you can definitely get some head cement on there or some UV resin. Come in here real close with those scissors. Trim that thread free, and then we're just gonna grab all these CDC fibers and come in here and just with our fingernails kind of rip those down to size. Now you have one random fiber that's in the way. There we go. Now you have a CDC ticket. It's going to give you tons of movement in the water. Fish are going to absolutely love it, because we all know that any fly with CDC on it is going to catch a million fish. So if you learned something in this video, go ahead and drop a comment. What color CDC ticket are you going to tie up, and what works best in your area? Thanks for watching.